Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where teachers can save 5% every day. Download the Safeway app and verify your teacher status for exclusive offers and discounts. Get started at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Good news from Children's Hospital Colorado. The Evergreen High School shooting victim they were treating there was discharged a couple days ago. He's now continuing his recovery at home. This is a 14-year-old boy whose family had chosen to remain anonymous, but says he's gone through several surgeries. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. Coming up, a federal court tells religious preschools that if they want federal money, they can't discriminate against LGBTQ people.
When a school takes money from the state, it is meant to ensure universal education.
Then, RTD votes to raise fares for people with disabilities who use its on-demand service.
And I think it's important to say that no one on this board or in the staff is making this decision cavalierly or heartlessly.
Plus, the investigation into famous journalist Hunter S. Thompson's death 20 years ago is being reviewed.
There's been nobody to replace him in the pantheon of pop culture figures.
It's Thursday, October 2nd. Here's the news in Colorado today. An appeals court has ruled that if religious preschools want to use public funds, they cannot discriminate against LGBTQ families or job applicants or anyone else covered by Colorado's non-discrimination law. This case came up after Colorado started offering universal preschool a couple of years ago. CPR's Jenny Brandine has followed the case, and she joins us now. Jenny, remind us, what does the state offer?
If you have a kid who's a year or less out from kindergarten, you can get 15 hours of pre-K each week paid for by the state. More than 40,000 families have taken advantage of this. And the actual childcare happens at a variety of places like preschools, inside school buildings, family home providers, so inside the home, private preschools, and faith-based institutions. They all get paid by the state for providing preschool education. There are about 47 faith-based providers participating and getting state funding right now.
And who brought that lawsuit? And more importantly, why?
Well, the Archdiocese of Denver and two of its parishes that run schools, one in Littleton and one in Lakewood, wanted to participate in UPK, that's Universal Preschool. But they didn't want to comply with Colorado's non-discrimination rules. They argued that violates their religious liberty by requiring them to hire LGBTQ educators or enroll LGBTQ families. So they were asking for an exemption from the non-discrimination law. But the state wouldn't grant it, so the Catholic group sued.
And this was filed in federal court. District court ruled with the state. And then just this week, the appeals court agreed with them. I'm curious what the appeals court said about why they believe these preschools should have to comply with the non-discrimination laws.
Yeah, the court wrote, when a school takes money from the state, it is meant to ensure universal education, and its doors must be open to all. The court noted that Colorado went to great effort to welcome religious schools to participate in the pre-K program and get state funding. As I mentioned, about 47 religious preschools are participating now, but the court stated they have to follow the same rules as everyone else.
And now that the appeals court has ruled, how do you think Catholic schools will react?
They were upset by the ruling. They could appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. The Catholic schools argue that the program isn't truly neutral or equally applied because it makes some exceptions in other areas, like giving priority to children in Head Start. We should say there is another federal court case in Colorado going on dealing with this same question. And it came out another way in the school's favor. The federal judge ruled that a Christian preschool in Buena Vista can take state money and still refuse families based on gender identity or hire only staff who share the school's religious views. The state is appealing that decision to try to block that exemption and require the school to follow the same non-discrimination rules as everybody else.
Interesting. So 2 separate courts, 2 separate rulings.
Exactly.
We'll have to see what happens next. Jenny, thank you for talking with us.
You're welcome.
Thousands of people with disabilities who use an on-demand public transit service will see their costs go up in the new year. The board of RTD voted for the changes on Tuesday night. The program covers much of the costs of rides on some rideshare and taxi services, and people who use it pack the boardroom to testify how it's transformed their lives.
Hi, my name's Gabby Gonzalez and I have IDD.
Gabi Gonzalez said the service, called Access on Demand, has been a, quote, lifesaver, allowing her to get a job and soon live on her own.
Because of my disability, I have to use paratransit. It's not a choice. It's the only way I can have independence without relying on my parents.
Marianne Migliorelli also spoke.
If you believe that Access on Demand is working currently, serving the needs of the disability population it's intended to serve, say aye.
Much of the crowd responded, aye. But according to RTD, the program's popularity grew more than tenfold since its launch 5 years ago. Staff says it's made it too expensive to keep without changes. Riders will be charged a new $4.50 base fare starting in the new year. That's a little less than the board directors had considered, and a concession to the many people who rely on the service. RTD board director Lynn Geisinger was the one who proposed going lower.
I understand the financial issues that we are facing, and I think it's important to say that no one on this board or in the staff is making this decision cavalierly or heartlessly. I believe this is too big a jump right now for our customers with disabilities until we have really studied Access-a-Ride and our paratransit options as a whole.
Disability advocates do want RTD to conduct a deep dive study on all its paratransit services, including the Access-a-Ride shuttles, which RTD is required to offer by law, but many riders say are less reliable. They hope a review will support their calls for more on-demand services. In the meantime, in addition to the new base fare, RTD will reduce what it chips in on each rideshare trip. Rider Molly Kirkham was happy that the directors lowered that base fare.
I know some people are disappointed just because, of course, we want it to be nothing, but I do understand it's baby steps.
Kirkham hopes that these conversations and a comprehensive review move forward. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Hell's Angels. These books made Hunter S. Thompson and his raw, unconventional style of journalism legendary.
I think it reminds a lot of people of our earlier selves when we were improvident and prone to overindulgence and not afraid of messing up, because he did that all the time.
Fellow author Ted Conover met Thompson when they both lived in the Aspen area in the 80s. Thompson died in his home there in 2005. The cause of his death was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But this weekend, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation says that at the urging of his widow and the local sheriff, they're reviewing what happened.
Mrs. Thompson reached out to me earlier this year and had some concerns.
Michael Bugliani is the Pitkin County Sheriff. He's still confident that it was a suicide, and he's not aware of new evidence that suggests foul play. It's long been understood that Thompson was on the phone with his wife when he died.
I'm not exactly sure of what details or what came to light to Mrs. Thompson that she was interested in the case review.
Conover says that Thompson's impact on Aspen was really profound, and he pioneered a new writing style when most journalists struck a more guarded and formal tone.
He was more like, no, you get down there with the people you're writing about, and you're not afraid to share your opinion about, especially about things he didn't like, greed and power mongering, which he really saw in Aspen. Even way back then, he was sort of a conscience of the Roaring Fork Valley.
And Thompson wanted mountain towns to resist the glitz and glamour forever.
He could already see the way that was going, right? How it was going to cost more and more, and it was going to be less and less fun. And he seemed to just militate against that.
Conover says no one was surprised when Thompson died. He was well known for using drugs and enjoying guns.
I think the shock was that he died of suicide. That certainly surprised me.
Conover says that maybe the reopened investigation will shed light into Thompson's mindset in the days before he took his own life.
There's been nobody to replace him in the pantheon of pop culture figures. He was a groundbreaker and chose Colorado as his base. And so I and everyone, I think we're all richer for it.
CBI did not give a timeline for its review of the investigation. Additional reporting for today's show came from CPR's Stephanie Wolf and Haley May. As the federal government's shutdown gets underway, let us know how it is affecting you. Email us at coloradotoday@cpr.org. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. This is CPR News.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway. This fall, gear up for get-togethers and game days with Safeway's Game Time 4x event. Earn 4x reward points on essentials, from chicken wings to chips and dips. Safeway has everything you need to cheer on your local team at Safeway.com or in the app.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.